Hey, in today's bass guitar lesson, I want to show you a simple, easy, very funky bass groove, which is perfect for beginners. I'll see you inside the video. Hey, it's James here from eBassGuitar and welcome to a brand new series where I'm going to be showing you some really simple, very funky bass lines that sound fantastic. If you love this lesson, I would love it if you could let me know in the comments below so I can make some more. Now, down to the lesson, we're going to be looking at two very specific techniques. We're going to be using an interval called the 10th, which sounds absolutely fantastic, and we're going to be using hammer-ons as well. But first off, I just want you to know there is a free PDF which comes with this lesson. So if you want to see everything we're discussing today written out in standard notation and tab, please click the link which is in the description below. So today we're going to be looking at a 4-bar bass line which has a very common construction which you can call A, B, A, C. And what this means in practical terms is that the first and the third bar are identical and then the second and the fourth bar change. But first off, let's look at the chord sequence that we're working over. Again, this is 4 bars long and then simply a bar of A7, a bar of G7, a bar of A7, and a bar of G7 too. So as I said earlier, we're going to be using a very specific interval in this bass line, which sounds super cool. And I'd love you guys to learn it so you can put it into your bass lines. And this is called the 10th. And what this means is we play our regular major scale. So in the case of A, it's going to be this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we get to the octave, and then we go up to the 9th, and then the 10th. And these are just the next 2 or 3 notes of the major scale continued. And what we do is we get this shape here, which sounds fantastic. So this is simply an A in the root, and then we go to the G string, and we play a C sharp there at fret 6 like so. And then we get this 10th shape. And these sound fantastic when you put them into bass lines. So let's look at the first bar, which sounds like this. Okay, so that first note is an A, and we hold it for a beat and a half, and then halfway through the second beat we play an E rather, at the 7th fret on the A string like that, and then on the third beat we hammer. Now this is the other technique that we're going to be looking at. So we go from a G to an A like that. So that is the first 3 beats. Now we just need to put the 4th beat on there, which is going from a C natural to a C sharp, and again we're going to hammer, which is where we literally just play the first note and then use our left hand to sound the next note, or our fretting hand rather. So this is our first bar, and remember the first bar is identical to the third bar. And again, like so. So first bar down. Now let's move into the second bar. So that first chord was all over A7. Now we're going to move back a whole step to the 3rd fret on the E string like that. And then we're simply going to play this. So it's going to be a G, and then we're going to play that 10th shape and hit the B, which is on the 4th fret on the G string like this. And we're simply just going to play whole notes. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, like so. So let's put those first 2 bars together. So it sounds like this. And again. So what I suggest you do is just loop that round first of all to get the first half of it down. Now let's move into the 3rd bar. Now the eagle-eared, or eyed of you rather, will remember that this is just exactly the same as the first bar. So all we want to do is play this again. So now let's move into the 4th bar. So what I want you to do is hit the G at the 5th fret on the D string like that, and then immediately jump back to the B, which is here, like so. So we want to go 1 and 1 and like that. And that B is pushed before the beat, which sounds really funky. And so what we're aiming for is a bass line that sounds like this. I'm sure you've heard that before, and this is a really common old school kind of soul bass line. So the rest of the notes are this. And then on the third beat, we're going to play the C here, and you can play it with whatever finger you want. I choose to play it with my first finger. And then we're going to play a C sharp to a D like that on beats 3 and 3 and. So we end up with this. So that's the last 2 beats of the bar. So the whole of that final bar is this. And again. Now, let's just look at the last 2 bars now in context. So you now see we have the whole of the bass line down. So let me play it to you in isolation now. Just before I play you this with the backing track, I'd love to ask you, if you're enjoying this lesson, please make sure you subscribe to the eBassGuitar YouTube channel, because we release a lesson every single week specifically designed for beginner to intermediate bass players who want to push their bass playing to that advanced level. There is a red button somewhere around this video where you can subscribe and be the first to know when a new lesson goes live. So guys, what I want to do now is let you practice this bass line, and I'm going to leave you now with the backing track which you can play along using this video. But if this is too fast for you for whatever reason, I want to give you 2 little hacks. The first one is to simplify the bass line. What I would do is leave the notes in exactly the same position, so the placement is identical, but just remove notes and take notes out of the bass line, and you might discover a really cool sounding bass line at that point, but then slowly put them back in. Or the other thing, which I've only just discovered on YouTube, there is a speed control in the player. So you could slow this down to say 75% and practice this bass line slower along with the backing track. Of course, don't forget to download the PDF as well, so you can see everything we discussed today written out in standard notation and tab. I'll leave you with the backing track now. So guys, that's the end of today's bass guitar lesson. If you've enjoyed it, please make sure you grab that PDF first of all, but secondly, and more importantly, jump over to eBassGuitar.com and check out the Bass Lab Plus. The Bass Lab Plus is a full step-by-step program, end to end, for beginner to intermediate bass players who want to push their bass playing to that advanced level. So what I encourage you to do is take it for a test drive so you can see for yourself what's inside. If you've enjoyed what's in this lesson, you will really love the Bass Lab Plus. So I'm going to tell you, there's a cheeky link in the description below where you can join completely free for 14 days. Cheers, I've been James from eBassGuitar.com, and I'll catch you next time.